Hi, Cherry here and welcome. Bit of a challenge today for our lovely Marple people and our lovely Glossop people. I'm going to start with a chair-based exercise session, but then we're going to go into a supported exercise session for those of you who feel you can in standing. So we'll start it in the chair and then we'll do the whole thing again in standing. So you guys, if you don't need to use the chair, just fast forwards and then go straight to the chair bit, yes? Okay, I hope your area is clear. You need to be on a mat or a carpet or a surface where the chair will not slip. Be mindful you're not using a chair that folds up unless it is on a surface where it can't do that. Because I'm a shorty, I need to have something underneath my feet. However, because I'm going to be in the first third of the chair, I am going to move that away. You might use a book, something that you can put your feet on if you need it. So we're starting off in the first third of the chair. Our arms are relaxed, shoulders are down. Folks, I'd like you to join me and have a little listen. Float one arm and down, changing sides. Shoulders away from the ears, yes? Now I want you to check out as you're doing this on how are you feeling today. So you're joining in if it feels right for you today. If anything feels that it's not right, you can always miss it out or repeat something else twice. Remember, we should not increase any symptoms of any conditions or injuries you have. How are you doing, everybody? So you're letting that thumb float. I'm missing my classes. If it feels okay, could you do both arms? Remember, how high up you take your arms is very individual. You've got a nice gap between the shoulders and the ears. And let it go. Hands either just loosely on the chair, on your thighs or across your chest. And we lift and down. Now as you're doing that movement, would you try and get the weight to go through the whole of the foot for me? So just be mindful you're not letting it go in towards the little toe. Yes? Weight equal through the whole of the ball of the foot. Crown of the head to the ceiling. Now, as you're doing this, we're going to test your brain a little bit today. Some of you will have done this with me before, some of you won't. So we're going to be doing a little bit of a memory test. Would you do one more on each leg for me, please? And recover. Let it go. Would you do opposite arm to leg? Are you ready? It's a lift. Have you noticed that I'm using a slightly beatier piece of music today? It's a lift and down. It's a lift and down. So I just want you to breathe subconsciously. Make sure you're not holding your breath, you're just breathing. And if the speed today is not right, you just work at your own rhythm. Ignore my rhythm. It is maybe a little quicker than we might normally use. Let it go. Have a rest. Hands on your thighs. Would you do the pit stop, which is trying to tilt from your lumbar spine. Have a little breather and then get a little taller. Now, anytime you need to do that for a rest, you take a pit stop. Let's do it again. Breathe out. Feel as if you're tucking your bottom under. You're moving from the lower back rather than the upper back. And then we get a little taller. Arms on the chair, thighs, or here. We take it double lift and down. Double lift. You keep going. Folks, I've had to bring my feet a little closer to the chair. Does that feel better? All right, bring them closer to the chair if you feel you need to. Double calf raise. Are you getting the weight equal through both of the feet? I want you to remember your technique. What are you individually having to work on? So you're spreading out the toes, you're lifting the heels. Last one, let it go. Have a rest if you need to. Hands down by your side. Let your arms float. So you're leading with the thumb and bring it down. Do that in your own time. Folks, would you carry on for me? You carry on. How are you feeling in that chair? You carry on. Remember, you always bring yourself to the first third before you start off, but I don't want you to. You carry on. Are you feeling the chair is too low? Do you need to put a pillow underneath your bottom? Are you feeling that you're struggling to sit upright? You could maybe fold the pillow up to put it into your lower back. Do 2 more for me and let it rest. Folks, let's take a pit stop again. Tuck the bottom under, try and move from the lower spine rather than your upper back, and then come up into a straight line. So when you're ready, arms across the chest, bring your feet a little closer in, please. Draw in slightly here, push the weight into your feet, press and hold and release. Do it again. Now I'd like you to breathe out as you press and hold. And again, please, breathe out and breathing in. You keep going. Is your back upright? Remember, I'd rather you do 2 with your back upright and then have a rest than do 4 in that slumped position. I trust you not to do that. 1 more. So we're strengthening the legs. Let it go. Start again. Heel and down. So remember, you're remembering not only the movement that we're doing, but how you're doing it and what you particularly are working on. So you're lifting your heel. You're breathing subconsciously. Could you add your opposite arm? How high the arm goes is up to you. Shoulders away from the ears. How many of you guys have just had to work out opposite arm to leg? I did. And again. 1 more time, please. Could you do both legs together? So we lift and down. Spread out your toes. You lift and down. Could you do that with your arms, please? So we lift and down. Think of the shoulders away from the ears. Crown of the head to the ceiling and breathe. Rest. Hand here. Look at your hand. Would you let it come down to the floor? Look at your thumb. And again, down to the floor. Following the head, chin slightly nodded, look at your thumb. I would like you to almost visualise that you're looking under your armpit, yes? Not a very pleasant sight, I know. But under that armpit, open the chest and let it rest. Changing sides. Now you know the movement. You're pointing it towards the skirting boards. Listen out. If you're not comfortable moving the neck, just keep the head looking forwards to me, yes? If you've got any issues with your spine, such as osteoporosis, yes, then make sure you are sitting upright before you rotate and rest when you need to. 1 more. And bring it back. Hands across the chest, feet a little closer. So you press, hold and release. Do it again. So you breathe out as you press. Breathe in. Feel as if you're going upwards and bringing it back. 1 more time and bring it back. Go back to this. Look at your thumb and look under your armpit. Now, as you're doing this, remember, osteoporosis, as with everybody, you're trying to be tall before you rotate. You do not have to turn your head. Thirdly, lots of people have to be cautious with excessive rotation because it's fixed. Can we change sides? So, if you go to any of our chair-based classes and you know that we ask you not personally to increase the rotation, you're not going to try very hard on this. Just let it be where it is. And those of you who feel good, you could make it a little bit bigger. Remember my motto, any movement's better than no movement. And bring it back and recover. So you're going to take the hands back onto the thighs again, lift the chest. Let's go. 1 leg and down. You breathe. Could you add your opposite arm? Eventually, we will be doing a limited number of each exercises, And remember, I want you to think about how you correct yourself, how you personally are doing the movement, as well as actually just the exercise. Both heels and down. And I'd like to encourage you to have a rest whenever you want to. Folks, you may not notice, but I've got, not a cup of tea in the background, I've got a drink of water. Because sometimes when I'm filming, my teeth start to stick to my mouth. So do feel free to have a drink of water any time. Careful as you get in and out of your chair. Make sure the water's out of the way so you're not going to knock it over. Unfortunately, gin doesn't count. Don't know why I said that, because I don't like gin. And let it go. Right arm. So you're going to look towards that hand. You look under your armpit. Look towards the hand. And change sides. Here we go. Look to the hand. So have you noticed that we're doing fewer repetitions? Look at the hand and take it back. Arms across the chest, please. And we press, lift and down. You breathe for me. Now you only do this if you feel confident, or you could have a chair in front, or you could have somebody else holding your hands. Up to you. Feet are back a little. Your heels must be down, yes? Could you just lift your bottom? Could you hover? And down. Do that again if you can. Team, that bothers my knees, so I'm just going to push down into my heels. You breathe out now. Breathe in and release. New movement. Reach and back. And reach and back. So keep looking towards me and reach and back and reach. Keep going for me. Just going to shift this out of the way. It's because I've got such long arms that I've had to move that out of the way. So you reach what you're saying. Okay, now I want you to let your bottom on one side just lift out of the chair if that's appropriate for you. Now this is a little faster than we normally do, so you just slow it down if you need to. And I know some of you guys out there might have to make it a little slower for different reasons. And for some of you, you may not be able to do all of the movements, but what you might do is just visualise yourself doing the movement, or do a smaller movement. Now, if this is causing you any discomfort, come on, make it smaller. Make it right for you. So I'm reaching, I'm letting my bottom lift, but my hand's just on the chair slightly for safety. Last time. And come back into the centre. Arms across your chest. We tap and in, we tap. Now I think you might have already seen this movement, and I was saying it's not the best movement for you to see at that vision. Sorry. Take it side and in and side. You keep going. Now I know Liz has said to me that some of our lovely people in Marple might struggle with this movement. I know some of my clients do. If that sideways movement is a problem, you could press and release. Press and release. Press. Breathe. Otherwise, if the sideways movement is not right for you, and I'm thinking of my lovely Trudy, you might want to go forwards instead, yes? You choose. Rest for me and little march. Little march. Okay, so we've finished the majority of the movements. Let's start it again. So remember, it's your workout. You take the responsibility for the movement to make it suit you, smaller or bigger. Opposite arm to leg. So we're increasing the movement, the mobility in our ankle and the shoulders, but we're also working our core, not just our midsection, but our spine. And I bet some of you guys, I'm feeling that my back's doing some work. Could you do both legs for me? So we're improving our ankle mobility, also for walking, keeping our gait strong and keeping our circulation good. Add your arms. Could you do your arms and your legs? Take a little breath out and in. And in. So I'm using a little breath out through the mouth, in through the nose, but just breathe if you wish. One more. Sideways. Follow me. Look at your hand. And then look back. And again. So we're improving the mobility in our spine. Hand on your thigh. changing sides. We're also encouraging, nourishment into the discs. Now remember, some of you made it bigger, some of you need to keep it smaller, and back. Hands across, push, hold and down. So we are not only strengthening the core, strengthening the back of the body, strengthening our legs, strengthening our buttocks. Breathe, bone loading, breath in, down. And it's also important to keep us good for getting in and out of our chair. One more time, please. Lift and let it go. Hold it here, hands down. We're going to reach to the side, spine tall, so it's just your arm. Remember, if you've got osteoporosis, you may need to keep this movement a little smaller. I know some people that are joining us have got stenosis or spondylolisthesis. Do it if it feels okay, not if it doesn't. Could we start to lift the bottom? But as you are lifting the bottom, you're not leaning forwards or leaning back, it's in a straight line. I don't know if you notice that my hand's just on the chair for safety. One more time, please. And let it rest. Arms across the chest, oh, it rhymes. Are you ready? Open leg low and back in. Okay, remember, if you don't like this, keep going for me, keep going if you can. You can go, press and release, or you could push in front, and again, and rest. Hold it here, give yourself a breather. Arms are down, circle your shoulders back. I'd like you to walk yourself into the back of the chair. Folks, stay there for me. If you need to put your feet on anything, please do. Completely rest. Would you stay there? You saw me getting up. Fabulous if you can. But if you struggle a little bit, walk your bottom to the, don't do it, just watch me, sorry, that was my phone. Just if you need to get up, make sure that your feet are flat, closer, you push and lift. You can have a chair near you to help you as long as it's secure. I'm getting up because I'm desperate for a drink of water. Excuse me, here's my cherry mug. Sorry guys. Okay, when you sit back down, you always make sure you can feel the chair at the back of your legs. Short interlude. Walk your bottom to the first third of the chair. So I'm going to go through it again, limited repetitions. You remember your technique. So I'm not going to talk to you as much about technique on some, and I will a bit more on others. You've had a rest. Here we go. Straight into opposite arm to leg. So we lift and down. We lift. Could you do it again, please? And you lift. Shoulders away from the ears. Both legs, both arms. Elbows slightly relaxed. Try and keep the shoulders away from the ears. And again, little sway. So you reach, hold, open. Remember, it goes slower. You reach, hold, and open. Changing sides, please. So you reach, hold, and open. One more time. So you're getting some mobility through the spine. And let it rest. Little pit stop. And it's also very, very functional for us reaching, moving, and coming back up. Arms across your chest. Feet a little closer. Would you press, breathe and hold and release? I want to go through a little bit more technique on this now. Remember, you're going up, not forwards. Are your knees going in line with your second toe? Try and keep the whole of the foot down on the floor. Some of you might be capable of hovering. I personally am not today anyway. Lifting up and release, let it go. Give yourself a breather, arms are here. So we reach and back, we reach. So again, it's a functional exercise for reaching, picking things up, keeping the mobility and keeping our functional movement patterns in the spine so we can do it. Remember, you're not leaning forwards or leaning back. A little bit of lateral and balance movement. Hold it here, arms across the chest, and we side, and in, and we side, and in, and we side. So as you go, remember you have your alternatives, and you're trying to keep your hips forwards-ish. Try and keep that spine long and relax. Quick pit stop. Now you may have noticed that I've changed my clothes. I haven't even had to get changed. We lost a little bit of film, so I am filming the second bit at a different time. We've just done the work in the chair, the rhythm, so that we were working with your memory. You're having to think about using the rhythm of the music, and you were also having to try and remember the routine. So if you have done it in sitting, you could do it again, as long as you're not too tired, sitting, or you could come up into standing. Your choice. It might be that some of you are fast forward the beginning bit and come straight into the standing bit. I will break it down, but not as slowly as we did in the chair. Bring your feet a little bit further back. Push your feet into the floor at first. So you just press those feet down. It's the chilled 5. So the crown of the head's going upwards. One more time. Hold it there. Push the weight into your feet, coming up for me, and have a little march through. Watch out for anything that you've got on the floor. You're going to walk to the chair and walk behind the back of it. So ladies and gents, if I'm here, you can't see what I'm doing with my legs, yes, which might be a bonus for you. So I'm going to shift the chair and I'm going to do it from here. So where I want you to be is looking at me from behind the chair, yes? But I'm going to be here. So shoulders away from the ears, crown of the head up to the ceiling. So when you're ready, think of this little hip to rib connection. Watch you not leaning back, shoulders relaxed. And we're going to go lifting 1 foot at a time. You keep going for me. I'm going to turn this way so you can see what I'm doing, but you keep going. So it's a lift and down. Folks, we're just doing this second bit of filming, and I've just done an online class for a company I used to work with called Fitness Fiesta. They have over 12,000 people on their Facebook group, and I was involved in doing a class for them live. I can't tell you how nervous I was. And it's ridiculous. You can stand me up in front of 200 people, 300 people, and it does bother me obviously, but I get through it. But I was so nervous. And you know what it is? It's because I didn't have people in front of me. So you're lifting the heel and feel that that knee is going in line with the second toe. Yes? Now, keep doing that for me. Now, the rhythm might be a little bit quicker than we do normally in class, so you can go slower if you want to. Could you do this movement one more time and let it rest? Let your arm float. Bring it back onto the chair, please, and let your arm float. So the spine's long, yes? You're not allowing yourself to lean back. And remember, you can start to take your hands off the chair if it's right for you, but you really don't have to. Let one arm float. Bring it back down. The thumb is always leading the movement. Have you got your thumb up? Remember, you can use the chair if you need to. And rest. Let's put it together. So one heel, opposite arm and down. And again. Peel the heel, opposite arm. So work out that opposite arm to leg. You guys know that I always have trouble working that out. So you're lifting the heel, shoulders away from the ears, and we're leading with the thumb. You keep going. So I want you to try and keep the pelvis as still as you can. So we're not leaning back, we're not coming forwards. And as you're lifting the heel, just visualise, you keep going for me, that you've got a, what do they call it, a spirit level across the back of your pelvis. And as you're lifting the heel, that spirit level on the back of the pelvis should still be there. Opposite arm to leg. Strengthening our spine, core, pelvis, working on mobility through the shoulders and the feet. Have a rest. Hands on the chair, shoulders relaxed and down. Folks, we're going to step out to the side. So I'm stepping and in, I'm stepping. and in. Now the order will change as we go along. The order's going to be similar to the one that we did in the chair, but I just want to give your ankles a bit of a breather from that other exercise. So you're listening to your rhythm, and we're going to use that rhythm to help us to remember what comes next. But at the moment, I want you to really think about your technique. I'm going on an uneven surface. If you're doing the same thing, make sure it feels safe. Your decision. Arm and in. Do the same arm as the same leg. Little bit of Harry Worth. Leading with the thumb. And again, please. So we're bone loading. We're strengthening the bones and the muscles around the pelvis. We're working for coordination. Remember, if this is too fast, you slow it down. And come into centre. Hands on the chair, please. Lengthen your spine for me, folks. And then tuck your bottom under. I've just been doing a lot of standing exercise, what I was doing before, so this feels lovely. Try not to move your upper body. Let it relax, please. Can you let your bottom stick up to the ceiling as long as that feels okay? Try not to move your chest. Bring it to the centre, folks, for me. Hands on the chair. And push yourself up. Okay, come back in for me. Now I'd like you to walk away. Make sure you've got enough room behind you. And your feet are a little bit wider. Shoulders away from the ears. Feel you've got this little connection. And we go. Tiny little squat and lift. So ladies and gents, because of the speed of the music, I want you to make it a smaller squat. Your bottom just sitting back. So once you've seen me, you're looking at the seat of the chair, but your spine stays long. Do a few more. Rest if you need to at any time. Get a drink at any time. Start again when you're ready. This is the wonderful thing that you can just press pause. One more. And rest. Folks, just have a little sway. Remember when we're squatting, those knees are staying in line with the second toe. Some people I know need to put a ball between the knees. If that's you, you most certainly can. But when we do it in the routine, you may not have time. Can we go back to it? Hands on the chair, feet a tiny bit wider. We're going to send the bottom back. So we're going to go little squat and lift. And again, so it's a squat. Can you see I've gone a little slower this time? So because I've gone a little slower, could you come a little bit lower down? And remember, coming lower down does not matter. This bit is the best bit. The bottom sitting back, the spine is long. And if you can come any lower down, hurrah. But if it's uncomfortable, you stay here. Coming back. Could you use your arms, please? So the arm lifts, you know the score. What are you leading with? You're always leading with the thumb. What's happening to your shoulders? Are you still able to keep the shoulders away from the ears? And again, it's a squat and a lift. Now let it rest. Have a little kick out of your legs. We'll come back to that later on. So feet and knees are hip distance again. Doesn't matter which arm you're using, maybe just use the one that's closest to me. So your arm's down by your side. You're going to let your arm float and bring it back down. I said the arm that's closest to me, but you're facing, aren't you? So when you're ready, let your arm come open. Keep going for me. You keep going. So the movement is this. Yes? So that you are opening your chest now and feel that you're looking underneath your armpits. Ladies and gents, remember that you are getting taller. I want you to feel you're getting taller and you're opening the chest. What I want you to avoid is this sensation. So look at your thumb, bring your arm down by your side and open the chest. So team, you have several more. If you're feeling tired, you rest. Remember, you can go back into the chair and do the exercise in the chair if you wish. Could you leave go of the chair? You don't have to. Allow your pelvis to move for me, team. But I don't want you to make it move or encourage it. Just allow it to move. So we're opening the chest. We're creating mobility into the spine. And let it go. Hands on the chair, shoulders relaxed. I want to move the legs before we do the next arm. So we're going to lift up as high as you comfortably can do and down. Folks, you keep going. So you're going to go, lift, spread your toes out and down. Now I am aware that some of you have got arthritis in the feet and this might not be suitable. So would you lift up, spread out your toes and down. Now if that's hurting you, you can just lift your heels. You don't have to do the full calf raise. But remember, how is it best for you? Because when we put it together, you're going to do it the way that you feel is right for you. A few more, just lifting the heels a fraction, or come all the way up if you can. Could you add your arms? So one arm at a time, let me get my teeth in, leading with your thumb. Now as you're doing this movement, spread the toes out and try not to go into your little toe. Feel you're just keeping the weight equal through the whole of the foot. Have a rest for me, please. Have a little kick out. Do that little rest onto the chair if your back's feeling it needs a rest. You can always go into seated position. So hands on the chair. We're going to start to put it in sequence now. Opposite arm to leg. So we lift and down. It's a little quicker again. You're leading with the thumb. Your pelvis is still. And you're trying to get your knee to go in line with the second toe. We're not allowing our knee or our ankles to roll in. We're not, are we? One more. Now, could you do both legs for me? Both legs. And down. One arm. And down. Try not to lean back. Use this little connection. Now, if you're feeling great today, you could do both arms. It's entirely up to you. Two more. Last time. Hands on the chair, please, and walk yourself back, shoulders down, little squat. It's a squat and lift. So we're back to that slightly quicker tempo. So you might not be going as low again. What's happening to your ankles? Do your ankles feel like they're collapsing in? Don't let them. If your ankles feel like they're collapsing in or your knees are coming closer together, you put a little bit of weight into the outside of the feet. Could you use your arm? Remember, you don't have to. If you feel marvellous, could you do both arms together? I don't want them above your shoulders, just slightly down from the shoulders. One more time, and let it rest. Have a little kick out. So that's 3 exercises. That's the sequence we're going to do them in. But when we get going, we're only going to do 4. Take the feet back into that hip distance and start with whichever arm you want to. You're leading with the thumb. We didn't do it on the other side, did we? Okay, so if you're facing me, do it on the other side now. So that was my fault. I had a little bit of a brain fart. When you're ready, leading with your thumb, looking under your armpit and rotate. You keep doing that for me. So you're going to be facing me. You're using the other side, yes? So you're using a different side from the one that you did earlier on. I wanted to give you a rest before I went into that opposite side. So you're looking under your armpit, looking towards your armpit as you rotate around. If you're feeling good, you can leave go of the chair, but you really don't have to. Now, as you're going, allow your pelvis to move, but don't encourage it. If you're feeling any discomfort, you have a little rest. You can make your movements smaller. Allow the pelvis to move. Allow your rib cage to rotate before the pelvis moves. Could you do one more for me, please? So we're stretching the chest, mobilising the spine, and come back to centre. Okay, next movement, bring the feet right together, and step, and in, and step. So So we're stepping to the side. Okay, I'm going to test your brain now. If it's as bad as mine, you've got no chance. Oh, my brain's getting worse. Could you now do opposite arm to leg? So opposite arm to leg. So not only are we building bones and muscle, we're working on balance, transitions, because we don't always just walk forwards. There's times we have to walk backwards. There's times we have to walk sideways. One more time, please. And centre. So remember that movement. Shoulders down and relaxed. Feet and knees are hip distance again. Start from the beginning. So, Enya, would you just turn that music up a tiny little bit, just because I want you to listen to the rhythm of the music. So listening to the rhythm, and it'll help you to remember. So you're thinking, how do you do the exercise and what comes next? We're starting with one foot, doesn't matter which, and you're leading with the thumb on the opposite side. When you're ready, it's a lift, down, lift. Could you take your hands away from the chair? Another 4. So could you do opposite arm to leg? How to work that out? Hands on the chair, calf raised please, small or big. That's your base position. That's your 4. Could you add your arms? You can do a single arm, or you can do double arms. You choose. I'm not trusting you to remember. Hands on the chair, step back, feet a little wider, bottom sits back, small. Ooh. You keep going. 2 more. 1. Last time. Now rest if you need to, but could you add your arms? You could do one arm at a time. Are your arms straight? Or could you do both arms together? Remember, your bottom T moves back before your knees bend. Your spine's straight. You're not allowing yourself to round. It's at an angle because your bottom sits back. I'm sorry, I got carried away there. One more time. And hold it here. Now, feet a little closer. Folks, we're going to do one side of the body. Look at the thumb. Now, open it. Do it again. So the movement is a little slower. Open, and again, you reach, and you open. So when we get going, we won't do quite as many once we get going. And come back to the centre, shoulders down, changing sides please. Look at the thumb. Go under the armpit. Remember, you're getting taller. Allow your pelvis to move. And again, please, you lift. And you turn. One more time. You lift. And you turn. And let it rest. Feet a little closer. Step. Doesn't matter which side. Once you've got this, could you add your opposite arm to the leg? Is your thumb up? Watch you not leaning back for me. Keep this little connection. And again. And in. One more time, please. And in. Circle the shoulders. Let's have a pit stop. Okay. So did you use your arms, single arm or double arms? I'm trusting you to remember. See if you can remember what exercise comes next in the sequence. Coming up. Rest if you've done enough, remember. Opposite arm to leg. Here we go. So you lift and down. You lift. Could you leave go? You don't have to. Both hands on the chair, please. And we lift high or low. Could you do single arms, leading with the thumb? Or could you do both together? And rest. Walk a little further back. Shoulders down. Little squat. Squat. And single arm. Could you do both arms? And rest. Little closer. Doesn't matter which side. When you're ready, look at your thumb. And open. Let the pelvis move. If it's bothering your knees at all, the side that you're rotating, just let your toe go out to the side a little bit if it is bothering your knees. And again, reach. And back. Changing sides, please. Lift. And look under your armpit. And we lift. Let the pelvis rotate. We lift. So it's a little slower on this. One more time. We lift. Hand on the chair. Tap to the side now. You tap. And in. Could you do the opposite arm to the left? You tap and in. You tap and again. So we reach. See if you can reach a little further. You can leave go of the chair, but I want you to keep your hand on the chair if you need it for safety. And let it rest. Little march. Okay, so I'm not going to give you as much information this time. We're going to put the arms in straight away. You don't have to. If you're tired, you keep your hands on the back of the chair. Are you ready? Last time through, team. Really good for circulation. Opposite arm to leg. We go. Were you able to leave go of the chair? Do so if you can. Calf raise. Did you do one arm at a time? Or were you able to do both arms? Hands on the chair, little squat. Were you doing single arms? Or were you able to do both arms together? Hands on the chair. Step a little further forwards. It doesn't matter which side. When you're ready, look at your thumb and open the chest. Let the pelvis move. Look at the thumb and open the chest. And again, look at the thumb and release. One more time. Look at the thumb, hands on the chair. Changing sides, please. Look at the thumb and open the chest. Remember, it's okay to let your pelvis move, but you don't encourage it. Unless it's bothering your back or you've got osteoporosis, then you might. And come back, hands on the chair. Tap to the side. It's a tap and in. Tap. Did you use your arms? You don't have to. We did opposite arm to leg. Some of you might have reached a little further out. You don't have to. 2 more times. And again. And little march through. Little march. Okay. So when I said that was your last time through, that was your last time through with me. Okay, you're going to do the movements again with my voice and not my body. So you're having to think about how you did the exercise. Are you doing it with a single arm or are you doing it with double? You do not have to let go. So when you're ready, team, shoulders down and relaxed. Feet, knees at hip distance. What did you start with? You lifted your heel. You did opposite arm to leg 2 more times. Single or double arms. What comes next? Calf raise, yes. Lift as high or as low as you like. With or without your arms. Spreading out the toes. What comes next? Squat. Small squat. 1 arm at a time or both arms together. Squat. 1 more. Side. Are you ready? So we look underneath your armpit. Take it back. And again. You reach, rotate the ribs. What are you allowing to move? You're trying to get the movement from the ribs, but you're allowing your pelvis to move. Hand on the chair. Get ready to change sides. So what's coming next? Opposite side. You're leading with the thumb and you rotate. Keep going for me. So you're leading with the thumb and you're opening that chest. And again. Just do half of it this time. Hands back on the chair. It's a Harry Worth. Opposite arm to leg. So it's a tap and in. It's a tap. Is your thumb up on this movement? You've got a few more here. And I'd like you to do 2 more. And in. 1 more. And in. Fabulous. Did you remember it? Hands on the chair. Little march through. Folks, you have done. We're going to have a little stretch. You can go into the chair if you wish. In fact, shall we go into the chair? Yep. Because I feel like my back's done quite a lot standing up there. So you're sitting, remember, so you feel the chair at the back of your leg, sitting into it. Hands on the thighs. Hands on your knees if you can. Now draw your belly button in. Allow your spine to round. Tuck under from your lower back, round your upper back. And come back. One more time. Let that bottom tuck under. We've done a lot of standing work. It's fabulous for your spine. Fabulous for bone loading. And especially at this moment in time, if you're not getting out and about and walking about as much, we need to keep that bone loading. Circulation. It's good for your bowels. Okay. One foot comes closer to the chair, one leg goes in front, hold on to the chair, lift your chest. Now I'd like to keep your back straight and come towards me. If you've got any discomfort, relax the foot. Try and feel that you're lifting your bottom up to the ceiling. And release. Changing legs. So one foot stays closer to the chair, the opposite leg goes out. You don't lock your leg, but I do want you to straighten it if you can. If it's unpleasant on the knee, just bend the knee a tiny bit. Chest lifted for me. Ease to me. Now I want you to feel that your spine is long, please. You can put your hands on your knee if you wish. If it's any discomfort, relax the foot. You may feel the stretch in the back of the calf. You may feel it in the back of the leg a little bit. And release. Let it go. I'm sorry, this is not very attractive. Feet and knees apart. Push the knees away. If you've had a hip replacement, this will be enough. If you can, just ease a little further. Lift your chest. 3, 2, 1. So it's a nice release, but it's also quite a lot of work on the shoulders there. Take your leg in front. Now I'd like you to just slightly soften the knee, only a fraction. Relax your foot. Hand on your supporting knee, relax your foot, now lean to me and try and lift your buttock on this straight leg up to the ceiling. Now you've seen it, try and just look towards the toe rather than looking at me without rounding your spine. Push back and release, changing sides. Leg out, lift your chest, try and get tall, relax your foot. The leg's not locked out, it's not really bent, just a fraction. Now your bottom that belongs to that straight leg, see if you can lift it up to the ceiling, lengthening that spine. Looking towards the foot without rounding your back. Relax the foot that's on the floor, I was cheating then. And come back into centre. Okay, folks, if you've had a hip replacement, let your feet stay apart, otherwise feet right together. Hand on your thigh, the outside, reach the back of the chair and pull around. Look at the side of the room. If it bothers your back or osteoporosis, you're going no further than this. If you can, you take it further round. Remember, some of you might just be here. Some of you might not want to rotate any further than that. Any movement is better than no movement. You work with what feels right for you. Come back to centre. Remember, your feet can be apart, together, hand here. Lengthen your spine, reach behind you. Rotate around. Crown of the head to the ceiling. If it's appropriate for you to go further, please do. Come back into the centre and release. Okay, this next one's a little bit complicated. If you can't get it, don't worry. And if you feel a little bit wobbly, don't do it, because you've worked hard enough. Shift to one side. Let the leg drop down. Now I really am perching on my bum, so if you don't feel safe to do that, don't. You hold on to the chair and I'm tucking my bottom under. I'm aware if you've got arthritis in the feet, it might not feel that good. You can tuck your toes under if you wish. Try and use your buttock on that side just to open up through the front of the hip. Take your arm forward, only if it's okay for you. Reach up. I know some people can't, and let it go. Hands on the chair for security. Bring your feet together, slide. Slight rotation. Drop the leg. Remember, if you're slipping, don't do it. Tuck your bottom under. Lifting your chest. Reach. Take it down. If you can take your arm higher, you go for it. Lifting up. Try not to lean back. And release. And let it go. So if you don't like that exercise, you can miss it out, no problem. Thank you so much, team. I hope you're all well. By the time you see this, we might even be back, I don't know. So hope to see you soon. Bye.